Hey, welcome back to another episode for Life on Living Well. My name is Richard. Before I dive into the topic that I bring to us this week, I'd like to quickly say if you like to know one or two things about this community called Life Living Well, you can find it out on our website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. Once again, you can find the community website at www.lifeforlivingwell.com. And on this website, you will find our weekly article that we push out. You will also find books that the members of these platforms have read and recommended, and how the book has helped them in their own different phases of life. So let's dive in without taking much of your time. I have an exciting topic this week, and what I bring this week is what I call how much are you willing to pay for negative validation. So again, the title that I've been looking at this week is what I call how much are you willing to pay for negative validation? As we normally do, if you're regular on this platform, is to take one individual quote and build our message around it. So this week I will be taking from J.C. Watt, so Junior Caesar Watt, and the U.S. politicians, the first blacks into the House of Reps. So, and he put it this way: I am secure in who I am. I don't need the validation of those that would say you have to be a certain thing in order to be accepted. So I'm comfortable doing I'm comfortable going against the grain if I need to. So once again, I am secure in who I am. I don't need the validation of those that will say you have to be a certain thing in order to be accepted. I am comfortable going against the grain if I need to. Just say what. So let's dive in deep into the topic itself. It is important to understand the validation in context. In my personal view, validation in its healthy form is part of being a human being. We all need affirmation, whether it's a kind word from a loved one or a writer hearing from their publisher about book sales. Positive validation can be empowering. But what happens when validation becomes toxic? When it starts to drain our energy, chip away at our self-esteem, and leave us feeling empty. That is the focus of this article. Negative validation is subtle but destructive force that can impact our emotional well-being, relationships, and personal growth. So the soul-sapping side of validation. Some form of validation feel good in the moment, but leave you feeling worse in the long run. They can be very, very addictive, like a temporary high followed by self-doubt and exhaustion. I've seen people bend over backward for attention or approval that never lasts. And they keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. We have power! We have power! We have power! We have This is the kind of validation that make you afraid to say no,
Thank you
forces
for
you
coming in
to be
peace.
overly nice
Thank you for
to avoid rejection. create a life of stress, anxiety, and emotional burnout. And it often begins with small actions, checking your phone first thing in the morning to see who like your post, or feeling uneasy when a message goes unanswered. Over time, this behavior erodes your confidence and sense of self. Let me give you real life example when validation backfires. A personal story comes to my mind. I once worked with two colleagues who are also friends. For one of their birthdays, the other gave an extravagant gift that caught everyone's attention. Later, I spent time with the gift giver and discovered she felt mocked by the same friends, particularly about her weight in front of others. So when I asked why she didn't address it or create distance, she replied, I felt alone. I didn't know many people in the city at the time. So this is what negative validation does. It traps you in relationships, behaviors, and environment that don't serve your well-being just to feel accepted. So let's look at the cost of negative validation. Here are just few ways negative validation takes a toll. Number one, your well-being. Constantly chasing approval is emotionally exhausting. It disrupts your sleep, increases stress, and contributes to burnout. Number two, finances. You may find yourself spending money to impress people who don't truly care. That is money lost to insecurity, not investment. And the last one that I put down is your relationships. Needing constant reassurance from a partner creates imbalance and emotional codependency. It can erode trust and strain communication. Do you really want that? So what about the social media trap? In today's digital age, the pressure to be seen, like, and follow add another layers of complexity. Our self-worth becomes entangled with how many followers we have or how our personal brand performs online. But here is the truth. Your value isn't defined by metrics. Over-identifying with these external markers will only lead to emotional pain and a disconnect from your authentic self. Final thought. Validation isn't inherently bad, but when it becomes a substitute for self-worth, it turns toxic. It is time to reflect. Where in your life are you seeking validation that isn't serving you? Are you tricking yourself just to feel accepted? What will it look like to validate yourself first? So the path to peace and growth start with self-acceptance. From there, any external validation becomes a bonus, not a necessity. We are all wired to seek connection, But when your self-worth depends on external approval, it becomes a trap. So, my friend, as you listen to me today, validate yourself first. Learn to set boundaries even when it is uncomfortable. Lastly, recognize that peace often begins where validation ends. So, I'm throwing you a little challenge today. Your turn. Have you ever caught yourself seeking validation in an unhealthy world? How did you overcome it? Share your thoughts and let's start a conversation. So you can put more of your view through our website or through the podcast platform that you listen to this message today. Until we meet again, please stay safe and have a wonderful week. Ciao.